My name is Cory Malcolm. I am an assistant principal here at Flower Mound ninth grade campus. I come from a family of educators, starting back to my grandparents, my grandma and my great aunts. They were all educators. They worked at the university level. So it's kind of a family business. We love people, we want to help people, so that's how I got into education. My grandfather used to tell me, he said, anybody can take your car, they can take your house, but the one thing they can't take away from you is your education. I took that personal. I ran away from home, went to Louisiana, and got my bachelor's at Louisiana Tech University. Started off as a music education major. I loved the education part, didn't like the music part so much. I knew I wanted to be an administrator. So the next step after a few years of teaching, I ended up enrolling into my master's program where I ended up getting a dual master's in educational leadership and master's in special education. And after a year, I started to kind of get that itch again, and I was like, I got one spot left on the wall. So my thesis was on cultural proficiency leadership and how it interacts with administrators and how they handle discipline in schools. I did a correlation between exclusionary discipline of Black students versus white students and a self-perception of administrators on their cultural proficiency. And just kind of looking at, how we can get better. And I think for me as an educator, me as a practitioner, it kind of spoke to what we always say is we're never done. And I think this is what this process has been about, is like proving to myself and proving to my students, proving to those around me, is we can never stop learning. There's always, whether it's going to school or picking up a book, there's always more learning that we can do. My wife has been phenomenal. I have two small children, and sometimes I had to sacrifice time with my family in order to do those things. And just the encouragement, my staff constantly asking, what are you working on? What are you doing this weekend? There were always some level of accountability, encouragement. Mr. Brown has been phenomenal in kind of helping me, think out, some of the ideas that I had and some of the thoughts, and kind of a sounding board of some of the topics that we were kind of going. My students, I think it was kind of cool because once they found out that I was in school, they were like, oh, Mr. Malcolm, so you go to school too? And it's just funny that they don't necessarily associate us as being students sometimes. And it's been really interesting with my seniors because we've been kind of celebrating together, on our countdowns to graduation. It's been really interesting and really fun, and a lot of the kids have been encouraging over the last few years. And I had a phrase is, it's okay to quit, but you can't quit today. You gotta quit tomorrow. So no matter how hard today gets, you gotta quit tomorrow. I think that if you wanna go after it, just go after it. And it may take 4 years, it may take 5 years, it may, the University of North Texas, I think they give you 10 years to get it done. But, don't quit today, quit tomorrow.